a brand new welcome center, the Seahawk Shuffle, and Sujit Truths. Fascinating thing on space planning and management today. I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Sujit Chemburkar to talk about his experience at the University of North Carolina Wilmington campus that is a 20,000 student enrollment population, and they have a beautiful coastal area of campus that they're constantly embracing and working on. So, Sujit, welcome to Bowtie Tuesday. I can't wait to talk to you today.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it as well. When I got here, I started realizing that there are a couple of truths that I kind of claimed them, and I let my supervisor know this, but I've got a handful of Sujit's truths that I talk about. But it's no one on campus has space and everybody else does. And I keep telling people that's kind of an oxymoron. We can't have both things be true. And it's like Wilson looking over the fence and tool time, everybody's kind of looking at space. Well, they're not using their space. We could use that. And I keep trying to say, don't do that. Just ask what you need, and then we process. We work it through. I think remote and telework are real options. They're inequitably assigned at the university as I've been at, and different people do it different ways. But I feel like those are really viable solutions for space challenges. And I feel that there's ways to increase level of service to students that are on site, as well as making staff have more flexibility with whether they be on campus or off campus, but it also solves the problem of not enough office spaces. And so I think there's ways to creatively kind of look at remote and telework as a solution. People know when policies and procedures aren't followed. I think
Mhm.
they recognize inequities. And so, if something happens and it's back of a napkin agreement that happens between two leaders on campus, executes a decision, folks see that and see that it's frustrating. And so I try to keep everything above board. I document everything. I go back and come up with MOUs and agreements for shared spaces. And it just keeps everything moving forward in a positive way. Not everybody gets a yes, but, for the most part, we try to find a solution.
I love it. So it's not
We've,
like we're not doing this by handshakes and back of the napkin agreements. It's
right.
policies, it's documented, it's fair, it's
Yeah.
equitable. I've heard about this thing called the Seahawks Shuffle. Tell me about what that means and how does that apply to space planning?
Sure. And so this will probably be the only time in my career at University of North Carolina, Wilmington, that I've been able to meet multiple departmental needs with one set of moves. And so I kind of branded this opportunity as the Seahawk Shuffle when I went to executive leadership and, with IRP guidance and the leadership there, as well as what our team saw. I sat down and kind of looked at the campus map, and you can probably see it. I've got stuff all over the walls and post-it notes and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, so I sat down and I looked at that and realized because of a number of key moves that we had some unallocated, unstewarded space, and I could meet the needs of research and innovation, the budget office, let's see, advancement and alumni group. There are lots of little moves. Title IX got some new suites. And so I was able to shuffle a number of departments around campus. So I listened to their leadership and I came up with a list of what their needs were. So research and innovation were currently housed in the admin annex that we affectionately call this building. It's at the edge of campus. And so some of the faculty and staff felt like they wanted to be able to get to it better. So we were able to move them into a building right on the core of campus and build out some new offices for those fine folks. They're happy. They just did a kind of a reception ribbon cutting thing yesterday, and just all smiles, brand new space, new furniture, new carpet and paint. The space that they vacated was on the first floor of Admin Annex. Alumni and advancement on campus have been great partners with space over the last decade, as I've researched, and have right sized and moved things around, but had become a little disjointed. And so we were able to give them basically half of the first floor just for them. So advancement alumni have a lot of their offices. They're still in a couple other buildings on campus, but primarily they have a big footprint here in the admin annex. They're happy. Now they're not having to run to telework and run all over campus. They're all in one spot. The space that they vacated allowed the budget office to move out of admin annex into the main administrative building at the university. So the budget gurus are right next to the vice chancellor of business affairs and the other VCs asking money questions rather than, again, running across campus or doing virtual calls. And so we were able to right size people, give them a little bit more elbow room that's appropriate for their function. I couldn't make everything perfect. It's like I'd say 90% happy and 10% still frustrated with Sujit, but that's fine. I'll take that ratio. And so I think everybody is kind of still settling and working out, but I feel like that's probably the only time in my career I'll be able to make these wholesale moves that address a bunch of department needs.
And what do you credit that to? That's fascinating. So you credit it to having the right conversations, listening, putting it all together, looking at it like a master adjustment. What is
Yep.
the type of data sources that you utilized as well to sort of make those decisions?
I talk about making sure that we're very relational. So I spend as much time out in the field as I do behind my desk looking at numbers. I think people see that. I try to get ahead of problems by understanding the unofficial conversation as well as the official conversation about space. We're
Mhm.
the keeper of secrets. And so I tell people all the time, you can call and tell me, hey, I need this kind of space. And that means that this is going to change for another department. I
Mhm.
don't share that. I keep it, but I model it out for that person. So if it might be XYZ Dean, I'll say, here's some opportunities for space in your out currently stewarded spot. Here might be some ideas outside your building you want to think about. That's not your space, but we could find a relationship. But then I keep that quiet. I don't tell anybody. I don't go out and say, hey, they're getting ready to do this. And so I tell them all, my staff all the time, we're the keeper of secrets. We run the numbers, we help model it out, but we keep it quiet until the time is right. And then
Yeah.
we've done all of our homework and we can work with capital and facilities management to execute with the local client.
It's very obvious that you approach your job with a lot of diplomacy, a lot of process, a lot of data, and a lot of care. So, Sujit, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for being part of our Bowtie Tuesday
Thanks for
series.
thinking of me.